G'day everyone, Michael Taylor at 64 Motorsport. Today I'm working on my X5. So the plan over the next couple of days is to get the rear shockies replaced and all the bushes that I've ordered for the rear assembly. So that's the lower control arm bushes, some of the control arms and things like that. So down here I've got all the bits sort of laid out. Things like boots for the shockies, strut tower replacement, seals, new carrier bearings, bushes for the control arms, etc, etc, and replacement tie rods. Yeah, so that's what I've got in the box there, and then down here is the X5. So as you can see, I've already got it up on jack stands. Let's go down and have a squeeze, see where we're at. I've just got everything sort of prepped, ready to go, and as you can see, I've got the WD-40 there, and I've just given everything a good squirt because a lot of the bolts under here are quite rusty for the rear shocky and control arms. So I'm just going to go back inside. I've just boiled the kettle, so I'm going to make myself a cuppa and let that stuff soak in a bit, and then I'll get the breaker bar, and I think it's about a 20 or 21 mil socket, and start getting these rear shocks off, lower the control arm assembly so I can start working out how to get that off, and some of these control arms, and I want to get everything sort of cleaned up before I reassemble it as well. So I've allowed myself a couple of days to do it. It may not take that long. It's taken me ages just to work out where all the different bolts are and where all the mounts are, because I'm not used to working on this, so this is going to be a learning experience for everybody really. So let's go make that cup of coffee and then we'll get cracking. Well, as expected, that wasn't easy, but it wasn't really difficult either. The main problems really are getting the spring out, because it's really hard to get a spring compressor in there. You've really got to sort of Chinese puzzle it, to sort of get it out. But I'll swing the camera around and give you a look. Okay, so basically what I've got out is I've got the spring shock absorbers out because I'm replacing the whole thing, plus the shock absorber mounts and the bearings and that. Control arms. So this sort of control arm, that's out on the rear side, and where's the other one? I might have taken it up to the car. Oh, no, here it is under my hat. Here it is under my hat. So this is on this side here. So as you can see, the rubber is really perished. It's pretty much stuffed. There's actually rust in there. This side, it's not too bad. It's probably actually better than expected. So it really needs a good clean up underneath here. So I'll get the Go Green out and start getting that sort of organised to get it cleaned up. Also, really sorry about the light. Incredibly overcast. The reason I haven't filmed a lot of this is because I've just had showers all morning, so it's not worth having the camera out in the rain. But what I'll do is I'll show you what I'm sort of replacing and the reasons why. And so far I've just done the disassembly on the left hand side, but theoretically this being the first side should be the hardest one, so I'll go into doing the right hand side with a bit more experience. So I'll head back up to the garage. This hill's the reason why I don't work on my car outside, the E46 in particular, because I can't roll it out of the garage because I've got no way of getting it back into the garage, because I don't think I could push it back in. So that of course means working on the X5 is down on the street, which is not ideal. So these are the components that have come off. I guess you call this the main control arm. So there's a couple of bushes up this end, here and here, which I'm going to replace. These are so here's the new black control arm and some melee new control arms on the other side. So these here are the bushes to go into the lower control arm. So hopefully this is going to fix my problem with the camber adjustment, particularly on the left. I'd say it's the left hand side that's really stuffed. So, but if you do on one side, you've got to do the other. So That's why I've allowed 2 days. I'm figuring this will probably take me most of the day to get all this cleaned up, assembled and back into the car. And then tomorrow I can tackle the other one. So hopefully the weather tomorrow is much better and I can get the camera underneath the car and get some good footage of doing the strip down. I've got no idea what time it is. Feels like it's about 1 o'clock, so we'll see how close I am. Go inside, I'm gonna have a sandwich, cup of tea, and a ciggy, and start getting things cleaned up. G'day everyone, it's the next day and the weather is atrocious. My plan, or my hope I guess I should say, that it was going to be dry weather has not panned out. We've had rain all night. It pretty much started raining when I was packing up the tools yesterday and then it's just continued. And now it's not like heavy rain, but it's just drizzling. And the ground's wet. There's actually rain forecast right through till, what's today? Today's Tuesday, I think. And there's rain forecast right through till at least the weekend. So now that I've started, I'm sort of in a point where I'm going to have to try and get it finished. So it's going to be a wet day. So I don't know how much of this I'll get filmed. But anyway, we'll see how we go. So where I left off yesterday is I pretty much got the left-hand side. I've got everything sort of stripped out. Got the bushes put into the, I guess, the lower control arm and got it all cleaned up. So that's pretty much right to go. So this is the weather we're facing. It is wet. Wet roads. It's not very pleasant. Yeah, so can you blame me? I'm not really looking forward to this. I might go boil the kettle and have a coffee first. Fortunately, I left all my tools down there. I've locked them up in the car overnight, so I don't have to drag all that back down again. And it's bloody cold too. Oh, I shouldn't say it's that cold. It's, I think, 13 degrees or something, so it's not typical Brisbane weather. We don't cope with the cold weather here in Brisbane very well. So anyway, enough of this and more of this. Let's get going. Standing by the edge, not looking down, 'cause I want you to know. Waiting for the interest that arrive. I don't need a reason to show. I know it's all about you and I, and the things we know. We will keep on falling down, but I won't let go. We're up to day 4, I think. Yeah, day 4. But fortunately today we've got a bit of sunshine. The other day I managed to get all the left-hand side in, and as you can see I've got the right-hand side out. So that all happened on day 3. So today, day 4. It's all about getting these right-hand side components cleaned up and reinstalled, and then I can start working on the front. So on the front all I've got to do is replace the shockies, so that's a matter of pulling out that spring shock assembly and putting on the new shocks and the new mounts, and we should be right to go. So hopefully I can get all that done today because the pressure's on. My new oil cooler should arrive from FCP Euro today. So that's probably going to be a project on the weekend to get that sorted and the cooling system all cleaned up and back operating properly. So that's the plan. I'll just move the camera around. So these all need to be cleaned up, this from the right hand side, and then the bushes in here need to be replaced. These are the I've got a replacement wishbones to go in to replace this manky looking thing. No wonder the wheel alignment was out. But yeah, this is all looking pretty tired, so a lot of dirt and oil road grime on it. Some of the areas which I won't be able to get to with everything reassembled, I'll clean up. It's not going to be like a full-on detail. It's just clean it as best as I can while the wheels and everything are off, because I don't have a lot of time at the moment to muck around with it. The priority really is getting all this reassembled. So that's what we're going to work on today. Okay, so we're going to have to call it quits on the X5 at the moment, because as you can see by these photos which are coming up on the screen now. So on the front I've got an issue now, which is in relation to the drive shaft boot. On both sides it's like really cracked. Those front axles virtually are going to have to pull off, re-grease all the drive shafts, put new boots on. I've got a couple of sets ordered from FCP Euro. They should be here in end of this week, so in about 7 days from when you're watching this. So I'm not even going to bother pulling the coils out and replacing the struts at this stage, because everything's just covered in grease. I don't know if I'll do a separate video on that. Yeah, I've certainly got all the rear fixed up, and just looking at the back of the car, it looks like it has fixed that camber problem by putting those fresh ball joints in and those new control arm bushes and things like that. So, and certainly having the new struts in there should make a much bigger difference to the ride quality as well. I'm sorry about my voice. I've got a bit of a cold. That's what happens when you work on your car and it's 13 degrees and everything's wet and you're lying on your back on wet bitumen. I'm pleased that I've got that back done, but I'm really annoyed that I've now found another problem in addition to the oil cooler problem. And good news, that's arrived. So what I'll do is, while I'm waiting for those other CV joint boots to arrive, I'll start working on getting that coolant system fixed up. So there will be a video on that one. Check out my weekly series, 5-Minute Fridays. I should probably create a separate playlist for that, so I'll probably do that while I've got some spare time on my hands. DIY maintenance and performance tips in a short, sharp, quick video, and that's every Friday. That's Australian Eastern Standard Time, by the way. So keep an eye out for those 5-Minute Fridays. Also, if you want to see other content, don't forget to subscribe so you can keep up to date with everything that's going on with my X5 and my E46. Hit that like button if you've enjoyed this video, if you've got something from it. If that's what you're into, give that a click, and ring the notification bell so you get a notification when I upload new videos. So what's that like? Subscribe. Yeah, I guess all there is to say is, well, thank you very much for watching, and until we meet again, look after yourselves, stay safe, and TTFN. That's the X5 down there, no wheels on the front.